peace, love, and salutation, blessing unto the hopeful elect. Those of you who sincerely hasten the day that the Heavenly Father Yahweh is going to send His Son Yahweh Shai to deliver the elect of Israel while destroying our enemies. In Israel today are you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as those scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, who some of you may even look like the other nations, but if you've been given a gift of His truth and faith, your bloodline and lineage actually goes back to the 12 tribes of Israel through your father's side. Now, I'm the brother Ramah Kimyan from Great Millstone, Miami. And I just want to get into, man, how we should be expecting, everyone should be expecting and looking forward to these major events happening, man. Major events are about to happen, and I'm talking about events that's going to really just change everything to the point where it ain't going to be no more going to work after that, or it'll be no more food in the stores after that. And it's going to be a lot of death. It's going to be a lot of famine after these events start to pop off. And I say events with an S because the scriptures describe to us when it's talking about these last days, different terrors, many things popping off, plagues hitting this place, man, which is going to hit the whole world, but especially over here in America. As America goes down, America's going to get it the worst out of all of these places upon the planet Earth. Now I have pulled up examples of a Black Swan event or Black Swan events. Black Swan events is an event that rarely happens, but when it does, it's going to have great consequences towards it, after it, And for examples, they have natural disasters, active shooter, mass shooting, for instance, what they would call a terrorist attack, nuclear accidents, acts of war, oil spills, or a deadly virus outbreak. These are just some examples. You got false flag. Esau Edom, the so-called white man, he could false flag all of these. But we're in a time in which it's really going to go down too. Even with Esau's false flag attacks, I don't mean people not going to die. I mean they just set it up themselves. But you're going to have over here in America, you're going to have one of these days something big and major happen. Whether it be the economy crashing fully, the stock market completely crashing, and nobody has the dollar can't do nothing for you. And we see the nations pulling away from the dollar. That's a sign that that's coming to happen soon. They're pulling away from it. They're actually teaming up against the dollar to make their own currencies. You got natural disasters. You got acts of war that can happen. You got an EMP attack that can happen. One of these days, it could be a regular day, and then an EMP attack happens, and then no electricity works. The whole grid is down. Everything is down. It's back to the ancient days. That quick. And it's going to be ugly. It's going to be a lot of death. There's going to be famine that the Bible prophesies and promises is going to happen in these last days. So we looking for something big and major to happen, and all the signs point towards something big and major happening. I mean, speaking of the economy, look at the U.S. national debt clock. It tells you 34 trillion on here, but we know it's way more. So what happens when these nations, you got the BRICS nations gathering together? At some point, this is going to mean something, because you could tell this to a proud American or somebody who said they know so much about money. Oh, it'll never happen to America. America got the dollar. It'll never happen. At some point, these numbers are going to mean something. As the scripture says, he has ladeth himself with thick clay, talking about the so-called white man, especially America, which is Babylon the Great. Ladeth himself with thick clay, which means very thick debts. At some point, all of this is going to blow up in their face, man, because they just been printing money out of thin air. At some point, that bubble is going to burst. But this is just one example of how a big major event can happen to where everything was cool yesterday. You got up, you went to work, you drove to work, you know what I'm saying? You clocked out of work, went home, got up, you've been doing that every day. One day, all of that is going to change. All of it, And look at this, doomsday clock. 90 seconds till midnight. So even the scientists, because scientists are behind this, atomic scientists are behind this, and they're telling you, they could look around and see, from nuclear risk to climate change to disruptive technologies, all of these different things, and now you have AI. It's about to go down. Something major is about to happen. You know, let's look at a couple more things. More migrants on terrorism watch list cross the U.S. border because you got the crisis down there. Well, all of these people are coming through the U.S. border, and it ain't just so-called Mexicans or so-called Haitians or so-called, Guatemalans. No, you're hearing Chinese, Russians, you know, people from the Ishmaelites from the Middle East, people who are on the terrorism watch list are coming through the U.S. border, you know. And a lot of this could be set up by the CIA. It could be set up for a false flag attempt, or not. Russia and China could be sending people over here, getting ready to, for when shit really hit the fan. In which you're going to have different troops over here. You're going to have all hell break loose over here in America. You're going to have civil war. You're going to have martial law. You're going to have troops over here from other countries. You're going to have United Nations troops over here. You're going to have all of these different things pop off, you know? And here's another one. Let me grab this. The super rich preppers planning to save themselves from the apocalypse. So we're not the only ones who's saying that something big is going to happen. The people who make money, the people who own these businesses, these CEOs, these founders of these billionaire, trillionaire companies, they're saying, shit, let's go get a bunker. They're spending their hard-earned money on buying these billion-dollar bunkers. Why are they doing this? Because something is about to happen. They know that something is about to happen. And we understand ultimately it's going to lead to World War III, in which nuclear missiles are going to fly, and those bunkers are not going to help them, especially if they're over here in America. If they're over here in America, those bunkers are going to turn into crock pots. But in other places, those bunkers is just going to be a holding place till the elect could get to them, But we are in the times of major, major things happening, man. Now, let's get this. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1, it says, "But other times and the seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you." Right, and we are in the times of the seasons of the day of the Lord, man. And then the scriptures describe the times as a time like never before since there was a nation. You got Jeremiah chapter 30, where it talks about Jacob's trouble. And then you have Daniel chapter 12. A time like never before, to the point where the Lord going to have to send the archangel, Michael, to defend his people. Revelation 12:12, it tells you, for the devil is coming down upon you with great wrath, knowing that he has but a short time. We looking and we watching Ember prophesying, we see it about to happen. So we looking for to shit popping off, and it may pop off in the month of March, we hope. But 2024 is looking like the year there's something that the major thing pop off. And we could see how it could happen from many angles. And it's going to happen from multiple angles. But verse 2, it says, "For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." And that they're telling you that, COVID is no more a threat. It's no more a threat to the nations. It's no more a public threat or whatever. They're telling you peace and safety. But what we've been saying the whole time, I've definitely been saying it in these lessons, man, the real pestilence is about to come out. Remember, one of the examples of a black swan event is a deadly virus outbreak. Some real shit is about to pop out, man. Where people actually are going to just be dropping dead over this shit. They got these things ready, and that Uno Nueve was just a test run of getting their infrastructure together, and seeing how stupid and these people really going to follow them, like when they told them to wear a mask. We understand it's going to be to the point where they're going to push out the chip, which is the mark of the beast, the implantable microchip. They're going to enforce it in your hand or your forehead. Because that's how ugly it's going to be, and people are going to go for it. But in order for that to be pushed, we know that the economy got to crash. Major things are going to happen. And it's not going to come as a thief in the night to us. We looking forward to it, but it's going to come as a thief in the night to these people. It's going to come upon the whole world, but especially America. America's going to get it worse than all of these places. Hey, here's Job 18:11. It says, terrors shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. Right. And that's what's coming to America. That's what's coming to these Edomites, mainly over here in America, because America has enjoyed just living deliciously. It's known as a virgin. War is going to be over here. Ultimately, nuclear missiles is going to pelt this place from sea to shining sea. But you're going to have a gauntlet of terrors that Americans are about to go through, man. Disasters, natural disasters from the Most High. Plagues from the Most High. Famine, martial law, civil war. All these things about to happen. And we're just looking for that one day something pop off. But we know it's just going to start popping like popcorn, major things. It could be nuclear reactors bursting. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be shit like that. Them quarantining whole states. You ain't going to be able to move from this city to that city. Shit about to pop off. 2nd Ezra chapter 15. I saw that verse 5. It says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world. The sword, famine, death, and destruction. Right, so plagues are coming upon the world. Major events are about to happen. They call it a black swan event. No, it's going to be black swan events that's going to happen. You could the Lord could have great earthquakes. They've been watching for great earthquakes over there in Western America, California and shit like that. Great hurricanes to the point where they have to up the scale, make a category 6. Which there has been articles in which they have been talking about, extending the categories for hurricanes. Shit gonna pop off. Not to mention the Lord's divine plagues that the Lord is gonna show these people to let everybody know there is a God. Apparitions and creatures newly created. Verse 7. Therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things. And the Lord has been holding his tongue. He's been long suffering, and it's really so the Lord could really wake up his elect. Because these heathens, they ain't got it. And Esau, Edom, he's the wicked. He's just made to be destroyed. The Lord's really just been holding back to seal up his elect. And then the destruction is going to come down upon this earth, man. In a major way, non-stop, till Yahweh shall come and crack those clouds, beam up his elect, and then come take the earth. I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And the righteous blood, the hopeful elect, the souls of the just are complaining, and we're praying to the Lord to bring down destruction upon this place. Because it's prophesied. It has to happen. It's going to happen. If you're not looking for these major events to happen, you're going to be caught up in it. That means the Lord ain't dealing with you. We're looking forward to these things popping off, and we believe we're going to be kept. Verse 9, it says, and therefore saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them, and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. And we are now in modern day Egypt. That's a breakdown that's not hard. We are in spiritual modern day Egypt. America is modern day Egypt. It's modern day Babylon. It's modern day Assyria. It's all of those things in one. Verse 11, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. So the Lord going to destroy this whole place. Nuclear missile fire from sea to shining sea. But even before then, the Lord going to smite this place with plagues. It's going to be a whole lot of death and mourning in this place. Verse 12, it says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. That's what's about to happen. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fall through the blasting in hell with a fearful constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Shit finna be different real quick. real quick. Finna have all these people versus one another. Civil war. You know, World War III eventually gonna pop off, which it already really has started. It just got to get to a hotter and hotter and hotter level. You know, but verse 16 it says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power." Because these people are going to be hungry. It's going to be famine. They're not going to listen to their governors. It's going to get to a point where these people just going to go crazy. Yeah, these people are going to be in distress. It's going to be disease, maybe disease X out here, or whatever disease. You know, Ebola 5,000. And these people are going to lose it. You know? Big swan, black swan events. Finna drive these people crazy. Verse 17, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." Right, that's martial law, which they practiced during the C-19. "For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation." Great tribulation is coming. Lack of bread, which means famine. That's what's coming to this place. Let me grab this. Revelation chapter 6. Let's get straight to the point. And this is prophetic, what I'm about to read. I'll start at Revelation 6 and 5. It says, "And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the beast say, 'Come and see.' And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand." Right. "And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts." And that balance, it represents yoke, the yoke in bondage. You know, it does represent that. Verse 6, "And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, 'A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine.'" Now, when you go into that word for penny, it actually goes into a full day's worth of pay. After a full day's, it's paid for a day's work. But with that, you're only going to be able to get a measure of wheat. 3 measures of barley, which means, imagine your full day of work, a full day of pay. Let's say an average 150, one something like that, and all that will be able to afford you is a measure of flour, a little bag of flour or something like that. That's the famine that's coming. That's how bad it's going to be out here. But it says, "Hurt not the oil and the wine." That's those who have the truth. The scriptures talk about the virgins who had the oil for their lamps. That's talking about those who have the truth, who the Lord is going to deliver in these times, or everybody else is going to be mourning and starving of famine. Because that's how bad it's going to be out here, man. Verse 7, it says, "And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, 'Come and see.' And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth." This is the time that we are coming into, and it's coming in powerful. That's why a horse is represented to use as the fourth seal being open. Death and hell, sword, which means war, hunger and death, pestilence, all these different things are coming. So it behoove you to continue to watch and pray, because the Lord is going to deliver his elect in these days, but the rest of these people are going to be caught out there. Let's see if I can grab this real quick. Ecclesiastes 9. I believe it's in this chapter. Let me see. Yes, Ecclesiastes 9 and 12. It says, "For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in the evil net, and as the birds that are caught up in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in the evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them." Right. So it's telling you, this evil time that's coming, that we've been prophesying, it's going to fall suddenly upon these people. One day they was able to go to Target and shop go to Starbucks, go to the grocery store, or they was going to work, pick up their kids from school, this is that. And the next day, nah, all that's going to stop. And it's going to happen suddenly. And it's going to be the worst case scenario for these people. You know, it's going to be the worst judgments for these people. You know, your kids might be at school and they may be tucking somewhere else while you over here, you know, caught up in the jam. You know, that's what's going to happen to these Americans. No food in the store. You're not going to be able to feed your house. You know, it's an evil time, and we've been warning these people. We've been warning our people, and only the elect are going to repent. 2/3 of our people are going to be caught out there with no help. The Lord going to reject them because they rejected the Lord. These things about to happen suddenly. The book of 2 Ezra tells you the storehouses shall suddenly appear empty, which means these stores, these warehouses, Publix, these grocery stores, Walmart, Kroger, they're going to suddenly appear empty, man. They're going to get looted. They're going to appear empty, and it's going to be the worst time of all for these people. So let's end with this scripture. Proverbs 22:3. It says, "A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished." Right, and we're hiding ourselves in this truth. And the truth, the prophecies tell us these things are about to happen, but the Lord gonna keep us at His right hand. He gonna deliver us. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. The Lord gonna deliver us in these times. He's gonna keep us from famine and destruction to the point we laugh at it. So we look forward to a Black Swan event happening, or Black Swan events happening. You know, event after event after event. That's how bad it's gonna be for these people, man. That's what we've been warning them. You know. So with that, I give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, and Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and peace, love, and salutation to the hopeful elect. Kwam Yasharala, Shalom.